I know that you believe that everyone has got a purpose to be brilliant and to
Yes.
live a life of purpose that is brilliant and that has genius inside of them. So tell me, why do you think so many people then live mediocre lives?
I think people settle for who they become instead of rising up to become who they were meant to be. And sometimes we have dreams, we have visions, but life beats us down and we decide to conform, and
Yeah,
conformity robs us of creativity.
yeah, absolutely. And what advice would you give to someone who needs to break out of living a mediocre life?
I think there are really three questions that we should start with. Number one question individuals have to ask themselves is, what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail?
Yeah, I love that.
Second question is, what would I do if no one paid me to do it? And then the third question is, what makes me come alive? I was reading a book written by an author named John Elridge, and in his book, Wild at Heart, John says, don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive,
Mm.
because what the world needs are people who come alive. And when I read that, for me, it became literally the thing that was the tripwire that unlocked me to a whole new world of destiny, because I was living to please others
Mhm.
instead of really understanding how do I please God and how do I honor the gift that He had given me.
So you say that was a bit of a catalyst for you, that moment.
Absolutely.
And how did you get over not living to please others?
Well, it wasn't easy. So I was working at Disney at the time, and if I needed to be to work by 8:30 a.m., I would start getting up very early in the morning. And when I say early in the morning, I would get up an extra hour early and would just spend time meditating, writing, working on that next step. And I did this for over a year. And it developed the habits and the behaviors that gave me the belief system that I could take a risk and leave Disney. And I did that 15 years ago and have not looked back.
That's awesome. So was that an intentional goal that you had? You decided, that's what I want and that's what I'm going for.
Yeah, I don't know if it was necessarily intentional. What happened, I was in Paris back in 1999. Disney had sent me there to design a leadership program for 1,000 leaders out of Barclays Bank out of London. And while I was there in Paris, I said, remember who you are. You are more than what you have become, which is, the line from Lion King, right?
Good
and,
imitation.
and literally, I had this moment where I had walked away from something that had been lying dormant that I had first stumbled upon at 15 years of age. I had walked away from it, but there in Paris, I found my voice, I found my lane, I found my thing. And as I began to honor it, I realized that this was the thing that was leading me to leave Disney. And sometimes when it's time for you to go to another level or to
Yeah,
step into your destiny, you'll come to a place where you're uncomfortable
yeah,
being comfortable. And that's the sign that your season is getting ready to change.
yeah. And you talk about when you were 15. Now I know that you had some difficulty in high school and you were kind of on track to lead a mediocre life,
Yes.
and yet that really changed. Can you tell us a bit about your journey there? I'd love to hear
Y-
about that.
Yeah, so something that a lot of people don't know, and I'm just now at 48 years of age starting to tell this story, but when I was 15, I actually wanted to commit suicide.
Wow.
Because there was a young man who told me, you are so ugly, you are black as tar, you are nothing. And it was like somebody took a knife and just cut me.
Mm.
And I ran home and I got the keys to my mother's car. I went into the garage with the door closed behind me, and I put the key in the ignition, and I was getting ready to turn the ignition to take my life. And something said to me, don't do it.
Wow.
And I got out of the car. I went back in the house. I never told my mother about this. My father did not know about this. He has since gone home to be with the Lord. And I kept this within myself. And what had led up into that point is I had a really bad first year of high school. I went and took classes that I failed in. I went out for sports and I got cut from the football team, cut from the basketball team, cut from track and field. So my self-esteem and self-worth was very low.
Mm.
And it wasn't until I met my English teacher, Miss Rita Lankus, and she said to me, "Young man, I want you to write a speech and give it before the entire school." And I said,
Wow.
"Okay."
Good that you said yes.
Yes, and she saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. So what I recognize is sometimes you need to be in relationships where people truly begin to see what's in you and bring that out of you so that you can really tap into your brilliance.
Mm.